Okay, guys. So while we're having fun with this whole underwear thing this week, I'm gonna tell my throwback story for what happened for real. I had a real time troll with while in underwear. So I was working out one day, and I was out at the field by my old house, and I was in spandex, which I commonly do, especially on sprint days. And there was a car that had gone back and forth a couple times. It had a man, a woman, a couple children, and it's not uncommon for people to glance if they see you working out, see what you're doing, whatever. So I went ahead and continued with my workout, and the car pulls into a house that's not directly across from me, but a couple houses down. Don't think anything of it. And as the family gets out, the kids are still looking or whatever, and I just go about my business. So I'm going through the ladders or whatever I'm doing at the time. Beautiful day outside, by the way. And I happen to glance up. I have some sunglasses on. I happen to glance up, and there's a guy walking down the street, but he's not walking like parallel to me. He's walking like at me. Um, and so, I don't think anything of it. He could be just coming to the park. It's free park, so uh, very pretty muscular guy. I'd probably say about 6'1", 6'2", probably in his 220s as far as weight, but very muscular, covered in tattoos. And he approaches me and he says, "Hey." And I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he's like, "Well, I saw a guy in his underwear running around and I wanted to come check it out." So I said, "Okay, well, I'm working out. So it's kind of like, how can I help you sort of thing." And he doesn't really say much. And because I have my sunglasses on, I'm able to give him a once over, and I'm looking, and he's kind of like, when he's postured in kind of a way that he's trying to send a little bit of a message. And again, he says, "Well, I just thought it was weird. There's a guy out here running around in his underwear." And his tone is that tone that he's he's trying to get under my skin. And I just said, "Well, I'm working out." I said, "You're more than welcome to join me." And I'm looking him up and down. His fists aren't balled up, but his hands are certainly, a little tight. And on one hand, across like the back of the hand, like that part, it said pride. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see, well, like, what does that other hand say? And let's just, if you're affiliated with a certain group that feels that there's supremacy in being white, you can fill in the dots what that other hand said. So, and some of those tats didn't look like they came out of a parlor. I'll just leave it at that. And he's within a range of me. So again, I say you're more than welcome to work out, but if not, I'm going to get back to work. Now, he came at me from the house that the car pulled into, so I can see, because I'm facing that house, over his shoulder. And at his house, around the corner, his wife is peeking around the corner. And in that moment, I thought, he came out here for a real reason. He came out here, and maybe not to fight or whatever, but for your wife or whoever this woman was to be curious enough to look. That I get the feeling, and maybe you guys can help me out, but it seems like something was said before he came out, and to approach me and say, "I thought it was weird, a guy running around in his underwear, whoop de wow, this and that." So he declined to join me. And I told him that at any given time, if he sees me working out, he's more than welcome to. Um, and it brings me to my point to all of this. Be comfortable with you. If running in the park in my underwear works for me and it's not to the detriment of others, then I feel I have that right. Um, it wasn't indecent. And again, it was a community that I was a part of. So I did it. And it wasn't to be outrageous or anything else. Like I said, it's functional to me. Um, I like being in control of everything about my attire when I'm in a particular circumstance. So when I'm working out, I want my clothes to fit the moment and fit what I need them to do, which is perform. You won't see me running like a 40-yard dash in basketball shorts. We've all seen guys make that classic mistake. They may run a faster time than me, but they're not running their fastest time because those clothes are flopping all over, wind drag. But I digress. Number two is don't back down, and I don't mean that in a fight, you have to fight somebody sort of sense, but you have the ability that I did, to diffuse a situation that certainly could have escalated, because had I taken the tone of, well, who are you, what does it matter, I can do what I want, those are valid questions. But did they really have to be asked? I don't need to get in that bag. My bag is bigger, my bag is deeper, and there's other ways to handle it. And if we've already gone down the paths and outgrown the sort of what's it to you sort of mentality, then I want to challenge myself the same way I was when I was working out. I want to challenge myself psychologically as well. How do you diffuse, potential bombs? How do you ensure that, nothing happens? It's not about whether he would have beat me up or not. That's not the point. It's not about if I would have beat him up. It would have been a loss either way. So, like I say, you win every fight that you can walk away from. I'm not saying this was an absolute one, but you know when you know. You know when somebody's giving you that vibe, you know. And, after that, he would see me working out, sometimes in my underwear, sometimes not in my underwear. But I think he gained a healthy respect to see, like, this wasn't just some guy running around in his underwear. When you see a man flipping tires or having a sledgehammer or whatever else. And I think there was an occasion where he actually did tell me about the gym that he worked out at. So we found a common ground, and that's something that we can all really get on board with. Rather than continue the divides, let's break down those walls, and and find a common ground. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can certainly at least just have a common decency for one another. So, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not in my underwear. I'm in my robe now. And check it out. This is old school, vintage. Can we see it? I don't know if you can see that, but it's old school embroidery from the clothing line. But that's a whole nother throwback. So, guys, be you. Be the best you, whether it's running around in your underwear or just diffusing ticking time bombs. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.